Hey, what up, boxing fans? This is the Rope-A-Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson. I'm back with a quick video from the Terrence Crawford Felix Diaz Jr. fight. Masterclass. Masterclass by Terrence Crawford. I thought it was very, very smart for him to come out right out of the gate, first round, first second of the first round, to come out southpaw. You know, a lot of times with a southpaw, which is what Diaz is, faces another southpaw, that kind of throws him off a little bit. Another thing I liked what he did was he used the jab early, and also it was subtle, but he moved. He circled Diaz early rather than standing right there. That's been one of the criticisms from Crawford. You know, considering he's such an elite talent and a high level talent that can do a variety of things in the ring, he has on several occasions, it didn't just happen once or twice, he has gotten hit a lot early in fights. Now he makes the adjustments and a lot of times he stops these guys, but it is something that kind of makes you shake your head like, wow, why is he getting hit so early in fights? It's one thing to not win the round or whatever, but that's something that I thought he did very well here. So he came out with the jab, circling his guy, and then he started putting punches together. Those straight left hands after the jab was set up. And of course, we knew the uppercut would come into play because of Diaz's style. He's wide open for it. You know, Bud definitely took advantage of that. I'd say by the fourth round, that's probably when Diaz actually had his best round. He was actually kind of shortening up his shots and he was getting on the inside. But that's not to say he won that round. I thought the cleaner shots, a really nice uppercut, still won Crawford that round. Then he kind of got back on his jab and straight lefts, and just pretty much winning the fight. If you were going to give a round to Diaz, I think it'd be the seventh. It was definitely the best back and forth two-way part. They were exchanging. It was good stuff. And if you look at the punch stat, they said it was 16 of 63 to 18 of 46. So I think that's probably the most punches Diaz threw in any round, probably. But you know what? That was the seventh round. Eighth round, Crawford got back on his jab, landed flush left hands, getting to the body, and he actually started being the aggressor too. And I loved the way he mixed it up. At times he was in the middle of the ring. At times he was just circling. At times he was fully moving. At times he was setting a trap to counter. And at times he was pushing the pace. And that's what happened in the last couple rounds. And by the way, Felix Diaz has a chin because there was a couple uppercuts that I thought he was going down. I thought it was a good stoppage. If you look at the punch stat, 193 to 69. So Crawford, like I said, a master class performance. It was funny because Cameron Duncan, his manager, fed him a line about Pacquiao, I believe. You could see in the interview with Max after he kind of snuck behind him and said something to him. You could see he was trying to say something to Crawford. And this is the first time he kind of said, I want Pacquiao, or Thurman, which is kind of weird because Thurman's hurt. But at least he said something after the fight about another fighter saying he wants to face him. You know what I mean? What does he do from here at 140? Indongo is obviously where he probably needs to go and probably will go. Also, if he's going to make his way to 147, just expect Jesse Vargas as a fight to, get his body acclimated to 147. That'd be my guess. But I think, Adrian Broner, the thing about Crawford is his resume isn't the deepest, and he hasn't fought a high-profile name. And that's not his fault. At 135, the names and the talent wasn't there. And there's some talent at 140, don't get me wrong, but there's no names. It's just kind of a strange thing for him. You know what I mean? So if he does move up to 47 by next year, because clearly he's big enough to do it, He's got really good arm length too, so he should be fine there. And like I said, if he wants to get acclimated to the weight with Jesse Vargas or something, that's cool with me too. But honestly, a fight with Adrian Broner, I think would actually do decent on pay-per-view. And I don't know if HBO would have the budget for that one, you know what I mean? But if they could make that fight, I think that's a fight that Crawford needs badly as far as name recognition. I really would like to see that fight. I'd like to see him fight Pacquiao, don't get me wrong. It just seems like Bob has other plans to kind of keep building Crawford and to keep making some money off Manny. You know what I mean? I don't think he's ready to cash out Manny. Not to say that Pacquiao wouldn't put up a great fight against Crawford, but I don't know if he's ready for the pass the torch opportunity just yet. Bob, I'm saying, not Crawford. So my guess is Indongo, and then probably move up. I would say Jesse Vargas. But like I said, if they could find a way to make that Broner-Crawford fight amongst hardcore fans, some people would be, not a lot of people would favor Broner in it, but the idea that Crawford would get a big name, and we know Broner can sell a fight. He stays in the media. His name stays in the media mainstream-wise for bad reasons, but it's there. So Crawford needs that type of name recognition. Anyway, like I said, just a great overall performance by Terrence Crawford, who once again is showing why he's one of the best pound-for-pound guys out there. Anyway, we're going to talk more about just a variety of things coming up this weekend on the Rope-A-Dope, or coming up this week, I should say, on Wednesday on the Rope-A-Dope Radio podcast. That's going to be live on blogtalkradio.com/Rope-A-Dope Radio. It archives there as well. You can listen to it on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever they're calling it these days, Player FM, TuneIn, Stitcher, yada, yada, yada. Peace.